All right. Now, something that you probably don't love as much, talking about this is hardcore. You've got a ton more editing to do before all the 2015 sets are up on the site. I know you have the voting open. You know, you've got the polling people out there. If you want to see a band that hasn't been released yet, go to the site, vote. I think it's what, 25, 50 cents?
50 cents is the vote. That was actually the minimum amount I can make given the credit card fees. Was that the minimum amount that they would actually let me charge is 50. So I wanted to make it accessible to everyone because I easily could have made it $1, but I felt like let's make it minimal. Let's make it easily accessible to anyone or as many people as possible. Just throw it out there.
Okay. That said, how bad does it annoy you when all the message boards, all the Facebook posts and stuff, everybody is saying, "Where's this band? Why isn't this set done yet? Why?" And then uh, there's 10 votes for that band.
Yeah.
Does how bad does I guess the internet complaining at you? How bad does that annoy you?
Um, it gets to me. I really didn't know what to expect with the voting at all because it's the first year I tried it, and I was just like, let's just do it because for me the voting is a way because I the way I run Hate 56 is basically trying to remove myself from the equation as much as possible. So whether it's democratizing it by letting people pick the order or now the site releases videos on an adaptive schedule. So basically the site learns when people are using the site and it picks the optimal time to post the video. So like I don't even know when certain videos are going to go up because the site basically changes on the fly based off of how people use the site. So for me, I'm like trying to make the site be a community thing, going back to the whole like communal aspect of it. But I think incidentally, a lot of people. I'm not going to say, a lot of people are very upset with the voting because it's creating like a competition of sorts, um, and so it's creating some tension right now. And I don't know how to resolve it because for me, this is my way of making some money back because I put there's so much time and money that goes into 856, whether it's like paying sound engineers or renting camera equipment. Like this money has to come from somewhere, and I don't put ads on the site. So the voting was a way for me to one cover that and also help certain charities because I donate a portion of those funds to a charity of my choosing. But so I don't know what I'm going to do moving forward because I don't think I'm winning a lot of points with people right now with the voting, unfortunately. Um, but I think to go to your point about the complaining, I feel like there's a general problem of entitlement in hardcore right now. If you talk to anyone who runs a label, they deal with it. It's just like people are expecting everything to be free or very low cost, and if they don't get it their way and don't get it immediately, they're going to be happy. They're not going to be happy. They're going to complain. Um, my way of dealing with it is just by humor. So I'll like if you follow me on Twitter, like I just try to fuck with people who are complaining all the time. Some people don't like that. I'm learning how to just be okay with it and just be upfront with people because some people don't know that Hate 56 is just a one man operation, so they're just expecting there to be a team of people. They expect this to be a fully fledged company. So I try to keep in perspective that not everyone is being an entitled asshole. They don't know any better. Um, but I don't. I think there's just uh, an endemic problem with just entitlement in hardcore and punk, which is it's endemic everywhere outside this community. So I don't know. Like I said, I didn't know what to expect with the voting, um, but I don't see a way of kind of curbing the whole the sense of entitlement. I try to make everything accessible as quickly as I can, but no matter what I do with Hate 56, it's never going to appease everyone. So I kind of just do the best that I can.
All right, so something a little bit more positive now that we've brought the mood down a bit. Let's try to get it back up. I heard that you're being flown out to San Diego to film Bane, which is a really cool opportunity. Congrats for that. Um, what are some other places that you've gotten to go? Whether it's somebody decided to drive you, to Boston or wherever it would be, or have you been flown other places? Where have you gotten to go, and are there any like crazy road stories that you sort of have that go along with that?
Yeah, it's only been somewhat recently that I've been offered to fly out places, which is great because I feel like that's where Hate 56 is going. Like people really want to see this as a service, which is cool. So last year, I got flown out to Rainfest. So I want to thank Mike Stark, who's in the older Pacific Northwest hardcore dude who just started getting back into hardcore. He's been watching Hate 56 videos for years, and last year he was like, "I love the Rainfest and Pacific Northwest hardcore scene. It got me back into this thing. I love Hate 56. I love what you do. What is it going to take for you to get out here?" Because at that point, I had never gone out to Rainfest because it was just scheduling, or I just didn't have the funds to fly out. Essentially, just work for free. So he funded the trip. He was like, "I will pay for your flight if you come out here and film it." And I said, "Let's do it." And so I want to thank him again. I can't thank him enough. And so that was probably that was actually the first time that happened, and actually trying to make it happen again this year. A couple years ago, I went with Mindset to their first European tour. That was I had to fund that out of my own pocket, but that was well worth it. And like actually, they're doing their last European tour the week before that Bane San Diego show, and I'm flying out to that too. LA for the Rotting Out last show in December for the Children Fest. That was funded by having a voting thing on the site. So everyone who's not happy with the voting, it's like the voting is also making it accessible or possible for me to travel to film these like really great shows. So I'm hoping people keep that stuff in perspective. That like your money is being used for me to like document more. In terms of just crazy things that happen, there were a lot of crazy things that happened at the first Mindset European tour. I remember Mindset played two shows on New Year's Eve, and then after midnight they played two. So essentially played two shows in Berlin. And after the first show, we walked around Berlin, and there were like fireworks everywhere. There were people just shooting guns. I guess that's the thing that people do. Like some guy was just shooting a gun on the ground. We ended up on some bridge. I forget where it was. There were so many people just crowded on there. There were like people shooting flares at cars that were trying to get through the bridge but couldn't get through because there were so many people. People lighting fireworks underneath the cars. Like I haven't actually released any of the footage, any of the non-show footage from the Mindset European tour. Like one day it's going to see the light of day. Being in Europe it really opened my eyes because a lot of people were coming up to me saying, "Thank you so much for doing Hate by Six." It's like my way of accessing hardcore that otherwise wouldn't come out to our fucking part of the world. So that was really eye opening and humbling for me to just interact with people who I don't ever get to meet or ever get to see. Because for me, I'm just on the site. I'm just posting videos on the site. I can look at the numbers and see the statistics of how often people come out. I'm not able to put like faces to these like numbers. So it's cool to meet people who are actually engaging with hardcore or discovering hardcore because of a video that I filmed and posted. It's rewarding to have that.
Along with all these really unique experiences that you've gotten to have over the years doing all this filming and documentation of the scene at large, there's got to be some physical evidence lying around somewhere. So are there any trinkets or little keepsakes that you've sort of acquired, whether they were given to you or you just held on to like mementos, anything like that you have your favorite thing that sort of represents what you've been doing?
Yeah, so this isn't something that's tangible really, but the last Mindset show in Baltimore was a couple months back, and like I said, my favorite band to film, and I was filming Leave No Doubt, like the second song in, and someone punched my camera into my face, so I'm filming it, and all of a sudden I see a fist come back because he's so excited about the song that he swings his arm back, and he punches my camera into my face, and he breaks my front tooth and my bottom tooth, and so that was like out of all these years of filming shows, that was like the first time that's ever happened to me. And if you watch the video, like I fall over on the ground because I'm like trying to figure out what the fuck happened to my face, and then I get back up, but the perspective falls down to the ground and then like slowly gets back up. So it's like you're like when you're watching the video, it's like you're getting hit in the face. It's cool. This is what I love to do. I love being in this element and like capturing these moments, and that was the price I paid, and I'm happy about it. At the For the Children Fest, my friend Kayla, she gave me a bath bomb, a Lush bath bomb, because she knew that I'd be fucking filming bands for 2 days straight, and when I got home, I'd be tired and want to like relax. Getting monetary donations is cool. Like people will come up and give me like a sandwich during a fest, which is great because they'd realize that like I don't leave the stage. I'm always just filming it. So it's little things like that I appreciate, or just someone coming up and saying hi. Like these aren't things that I can like keep forever, like tangibly, but they're like memories that I don't forget.
That's great. Are there ever any sets that you watch that somebody else filmed that you're just why couldn't I be there? Why and then you kind of get bummed out?
Yeah, I mean, with a band like Mindset, I'd always love to just be out there film or be out there singing along, but there's certain bands that I won't film, like 108, Damnation AD are the two bands that I will always ask someone else to film for me because at some point I need to just put the camera down and sing along. Like imagine being someone who's filmed 2,000 sets and has never been able to like pit. That like I feel like I need to be like the Messiah and return to the pit sometimes and just like let all this energy out. So whenever there's bands like they rarely play, but whenever they play, I will have someone film for me and I just go fucking crazy. Like anyone who sees it is just like, yo, what the hell is he doing? Like this is what happens when you like don't let yourself have that form of release. All Else Failed is another band that when they recently made the transition from band that I love filming to a band that I love filming and I want to go off for. So This Is Hardcore set from last year. I had someone film for me. So if you watch the video, like I'm going crazy in the video.
I thought your hands were going to explode because you were punching the ground like full force.
There's a lot. My mosh is basically me punching the ground, punching myself, grabbing people in the crowd saying "fucking punch me," and just hoping something happens. If you watch the 108 video from the Cake Shop, January 8th, 2011, I had my friend Lewis film, and if you watch during "Being Your Body," it's the middle part of that song is like really soft and very slow. You can see me, like the frame is from the side of the stage. You can see like my arm, because I like fall down on the ground. I'm just like screaming on the ground. You see my arm come up from the bottom of the frame and just start striking the ground. If you listen closely, you can hear 3 thuds each time my fist hits the ground. And if you listen to right after that, you can hear a woman who's like right next to the camera. She just says, "Oh my God." So it rarely happens, but when I can get that release, I fucking love it.
So your day job, you're a scientist. Let's talk about that for a while. What do you do, and how is it, flexibility wise, being able to balance filming and science?
So I guess my title, I've wide array of titles, but I'm technically like a data scientist, research programmer, research engineer. Basically, I work in a field of artificial intelligence that's focused on getting computers to understand language. So I work with it's called machine learning, natural language processing. I work with large streams of language data and trying to get computers to process them in certain ways. Whether or not it's like reading and having a computer read an essay, read a document, determine if it's plagiarized, determine if it's like similar to other documents. Basically, the whole point of the field is to use data to help train a computer to understand language. But I've also worked in other things like human fertility. So I worked at a startup that had an app that helped couples conceive faster. So I was analyzing the data about when women were having cramping and having headaches, and analyzing all these like symptoms that they were reporting and trying to predict when they would be ovulating, basically. So we had an app that was trying to basically tell couples, if you're trying to have a kid, you should basically fuck in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, because that's when you're going to be most fertile. Unfortunately, the app was catered towards hetero couples, but it's basically a lot of what I do. My day job as a nerd is basically analyzing lots of data, trying to find patterns in the data, and trying to get computers to like make inferences and learn what those patterns are automatically.
That's terrifying, but it does explain how your site updates itself and releases videos on its own. Terminator stuff, kids. Is there any sort of end game that you see with 856? Like, do you have a vision for it where it's going what you kind of want to happen? Or are you just letting it go and saying, man, I'm along for the ride, and as long as I can do this, I will, and when it's over, it's over? Or is there somewhere, like a specific place you're trying to get to?
I don't know. I mean, I get this question a lot, and I feel like I can't picture myself not filming a show. Whenever I film a show that I'm not filming, I feel really anxious and antsy because I'd rather be documenting it, So I really just see this going as long as I can take it. I want to keep filming as much as I can. The fact that I'm getting assistants to fly out to shows and travel around to document bands is great. I mean, that's like a huge step for me. So it's just incremental changes like that are all I could ask for, because at 15 or 14, when I first started filming shows, never thought people would give a shit. I never thought it would become something that people rely on as a resource. So it's already exceeded my expectations, to being just as a tool to help connect people to music. And that's basically what all it ever came down to, was just to make things come back full circle, was just, I discovered music just by collecting live videos and really appreciating them that way. And to hear from people saying that, oh, I discovered my new favorite band from a video that you filmed, just makes it all like that in itself is a success. And if this ends tomorrow, I would be happy. I feel like I've done everything that I wanted to do, and anything else at this point is just icing on the cake.
For the board, what bands, past, present, dead, alive, that you never got a chance to film, what bands would you love to film?
I think everyone expects me to say Rage Against the Machine and Inside Out. which is true.
We do. We do.
You do, but I feel like that footage would just be like, it would start out, the band would start playing, the footage, like the camera would then fall. You would see me run to the middle of the stage and like dump gasoline on myself, light a fire, and then just jump in the crowd. Like that's all the footage would be. But I mean, bands like at the drive-in in their prime would have been amazing to film. Just like I really like filming bands that move around a lot and just have energy and are just like letting the music, overtake them. So like at the drive-in would be one of them. Fugazi was another one that I would love to have filmed. Like some of the videos that really inspired me growing up were just like live Fugazi sets. So like being able to film Fugazi would be unreal. There's like, gosh, I don't even know. I mean, the classics like Minor Threat, obviously. But I make a concerted effort to just film as much as I can across the board, just so I don't have regrets. I mean, there are a lot of current bands that I didn't get to film, unfortunately, that I have just like, goddamn, I wish I got to film them. But over the years, with all these reunions that are happening, I've had those opportunities. Like Unbroken was a band that I always wanted to film, and then I had multiple opportunities to do that.
So to plug the other thing that you do here, instead of Hate56, you've got Love56. You are a videographer and you do weddings. I've been told that it's basically a veritable who's who of hardcore celebs.
Yeah, so the bulk of the weddings that I do are, you actually used my phrase, veritable who's who. But if you go on love56.com, there's like 20 some wedding videos. Most of them are friends or people in the hardcore scene who are like, hey, you film my band, can you film my wedding? And like, so it's been a nice change of pace from filming shows, but it's all friends, mostly friends, and just people. Like you watch any of them, you'll be like, oh, Dude Have Heart, Dude Champion, Dude Mindset. It's kind of cool. A couple of videos on there that people they saw the work on there and they loved it, and they just flew me out to like California to film a wedding. So bulk of it is friends, but I'm starting to get other clients who are they love my style. So if you have videographer needs for your wedding, hit me up, love56.com.
There it is. So we'll wrap with that, and it's been a great conversation. We've gotten to see inside the mind of BMXer, video nerd, filmer, scientist, man who does it all. Sunny Singh, hate56.com. I hope you guys check out those videos and stop bitching about paying 50 cents to vote for your favorite band. Just do it. It goes to the right place. Get on there, vote. You'll see your band a little sooner.